Marriage is one of the most beautiful and sacred blessings in Islam, but it is also one of the greatest responsibilities a person can take on in their life. It is not just about finding someone to share your life with, to have companionship, or to enjoy moments of happiness together. Marriage is much deeper than that. It is a partnership that requires understanding, patience, sacrifice, and above all, a strong foundation in faith. Before making such an important decision, it is crucial to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I truly ready for this step? Am I prepared spiritually, emotionally, and mentally to take on the responsibilities of a spouse? These are not easy questions to answer, but they are essential for anyone who wants to build a successful and blessed marriage according to the teachings of Islam. In our world today, many people rush into marriage without taking the time to deeply reflect on these questions. They may focus only on feelings of love, attraction, or the excitement of starting a new life. While love is important, it is not enough to sustain a lifelong relationship. Islam teaches us that marriage is a trust, a sacred bond, and a form of ibadah, a way to serve Allah through fulfilling your duties to your spouse in the best manner. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The best of you are those who are best to their families." This is not just about being kind occasionally. It is about consistently embodying patience, respect, and care in every aspect of married life. Before marriage, you must prepare yourself to live by these principles, because love alone cannot carry a marriage through trials and difficulties. Reflection begins with honesty. Be honest with yourself about your intentions. Are you seeking marriage simply to satisfy desires, to avoid loneliness, or to conform to societal pressure? Or are you seeking a partner with whom you can grow spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually? Someone with whom you can build a family centered on faith, compassion, and mutual respect. Understanding your own intentions is the first step toward a successful marriage. Allah knows what is in our hearts, but He also teaches us to examine our hearts and our intentions carefully. When you reflect deeply, you are aligning your decisions with your faith and with the guidance of the Quran and Sunnah, ensuring that your choice is not just convenient, but also righteous and blessed. Another essential aspect of reflection is understanding your own readiness. Are you emotionally mature enough to face the challenges that marriage may bring? Marriage will test your patience, humility, and understanding in ways that single life rarely does. There will be disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments when you feel frustrated or hurt. Ask yourself if you are ready to face these situations with calmness and wisdom, rather than anger or resentment. Emotional readiness also means being able to listen, empathize, and compromise. It means being willing to put the needs of your spouse alongside or even sometimes above your own needs, without feeling that you are losing your identity or your dignity. Spiritual readiness is equally important. Marriage is not just a worldly relationship, it is a spiritual partnership that has the potential to bring you closer to Allah if approached correctly. Are you maintaining a strong connection with Allah through prayer, reflection, and good deeds? Are you prepared to encourage your spouse in their faith, to remind each other of Allah, and to seek His pleasure together? A marriage built on the foundation of Aman and Taqwa will be able to withstand trials and remain strong in the face of difficulties, whereas a marriage without this foundation may struggle even in simple challenges. Take the time to evaluate your own faith and ask yourself whether you are ready to nurture a spiritual environment in your home. It is also essential to reflect on your personal goals, habits, and lifestyle. Marriage is not just about sharing a home, it is about sharing a life. Ask yourself whether you are ready to adjust, to compromise, and to collaborate with another human being on daily decisions, finances, household responsibilities, and future planning. Reflect on your strengths and weaknesses. What qualities do you bring to a marriage, and what areas do you need to improve upon? Self-awareness is crucial. When you understand yourself deeply, you are more capable of understanding your future spouse, and you can work together to create a harmonious and balanced life. Finally, reflection should lead to supplication. Ask Allah sincerely for guidance in making the right decision. Seek istikhara, the prayer of guidance to help you choose the path that will bring blessings to your life. Remember that Allah's wisdom is perfect, and He knows what is best for you. By taking the time to reflect, evaluate your readiness, and seek divine guidance, you are showing sincerity in your intentions and respect for the sacredness of marriage. Marriage is a journey, not just a moment. It is a journey that requires preparation, patience, and perseverance. By reflecting before marriage, you are laying the foundation for a life filled with love, compassion, and faith. You are ensuring that when you take this step, you do so with intention, with awareness, and with the hope of pleasing Allah in every action and decision. This reflection is not a sign of doubt or weakness, rather it is a sign of wisdom, maturity, and a sincere desire to build a marriage that is blessed in this world and the hereafter. So pause for a moment and ask yourself these questions honestly. Are you ready to fulfill your responsibilities? Are you ready to face challenges with patience? Are you ready to nurture your faith and support your spouse spiritually? Are you ready to love selflessly, to compromise wisely, and to build a home based on Islamic principles? The answers to these questions will guide you, protect you, and help you embark on the journey of marriage with confidence, clarity, and the hope of Allah's blessings. Marriage is a beautiful blessing, but it is also a responsibility that demands patience and sacrifice. Before stepping into this sacred bond, it is essential to ask yourself, am I truly ready to give more than I take? Am I prepared to serve, support, and love my spouse, even when it is difficult, when challenges arise, and when life does not go as planned? Many people think marriage is only about love, companionship, or shared happiness, but Islam teaches us that marriage is much deeper. It is about being garments for one another, as the Quran beautifully describes. They are clothing for you and you are clothing for them. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:187. This means protection, comfort, and support. It means being there to shield one another from harm, to cover each other's faults, and to care selflessly. Sacrifice is a natural part of marriage. You will not always get your way, and there will be moments when your desires and needs must be set aside for the sake of your spouse, for the sake of family harmony, or for the sake of fulfilling your shared responsibilities. Ask yourself honestly, am I willing to make these sacrifices? Can I put my ego aside, control my anger, and respond with patience and kindness, even when my spouse makes mistakes? Remember, patience is not only about tolerating challenges, but also about responding to them with wisdom, love, and understanding. In the Prophet ﷺ's life, we see countless examples of patience and sacrifice in his interactions with his family. Despite his elevated status, he served his household, helped with chores, and showed immense patience in dealing with disagreements, setting an eternal example for all believers. Marriage will challenge your emotions in ways that single life cannot. There will be moments of stress, misunderstandings, and disagreements. These are inevitable. The question is, are you ready to face them with maturity and grace? Emotional readiness means being able to listen without judgment, to respond without anger, and to seek solutions rather than escalating conflict. It means controlling impulsive reactions, forgiving mistakes, and prioritizing love and respect over pride. A marriage without patience can quickly turn into constant arguments and dissatisfaction, but a marriage built on patience and sacrifice can weather storms and grow stronger with every challenge. Sacrifice in marriage is not limited to emotional matters, it also extends to time, energy, and sometimes even personal ambitions. There will be times when you need to compromise, when you need to support your spouse's decisions, and when you may have to adjust your lifestyle for the greater good of your family. Ask yourself, am I ready to share my life in this way? Can I find joy in giving rather than only receiving? Islam emphasizes the importance of selflessness in marriage. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The best of you are those who are best to their families." This is a clear reminder that a successful marriage requires continuous effort, selflessness, and a willingness to put the needs of your loved ones alongside or above your own at times. Patience is also about understanding that no one is perfect. You and your spouse will each have flaws. There will be habits you dislike, behaviors that irritate you, and differences in opinions and priorities. Ask yourself, am I ready to accept imperfection with a kind heart? Am I ready to communicate with love rather than criticism, to guide rather than condemn, and to work together to grow as individuals and as a couple? Marriage is not about finding someone perfect. It is about learning to love, respect, and support one another in a way that brings out the best in each other. Financial sacrifices can also test patience. There will be times when money is tight, when unexpected expenses arise, or when financial decisions require compromise. Ask yourself, am I willing to manage these situations calmly and responsibly? Am I ready to collaborate with my spouse in making financial decisions and to support them rather than blame them when difficulties arise? A wise believer approaches financial challenges with planning, patience, and gratitude, understanding that wealth is a trust from Allah, and that true richness is measured by contentment and the quality of relationships, not material possessions. Spiritual sacrifice is equally important. Marriage is not just a worldly partnership, it is a spiritual journey. You may need to support your spouse in matters of faith, encourage good deeds, and remind each other of Allah's guidance. Ask yourself, am I ready to prioritize the spiritual well-being of my household? Am I prepared to sacrifice time, energy, and sometimes personal desires to ensure that your home remains a place of faith, tranquility, and worship? A home built on spiritual principles will be a source of blessing, peace, and guidance for both spouses, their children, and the extended family. Reflection on patience and sacrifice is not meant to discourage you from marriage. Rather, it is meant to prepare you for the reality of this sacred commitment. When you are honest with yourself about your readiness, you increase your chances of building a marriage filled with love, respect, and stability. You protect your heart from unnecessary disappointment, and you honor the sacred trust that marriage represents in Islam. Remember, every act of patience and sacrifice in marriage is rewarded by Allah. Every kind word, every thoughtful gesture, every effort to forgive and understand is counted. By reflecting on your readiness, you are setting the foundation for a marriage that is not only happy, but also blessed in this world and the hereafter. Take time now to ask yourself these questions. Am I ready to give more than I take? Can I serve my spouse with love and patience even when it is difficult? Am I willing to sacrifice my comfort, my ego, and sometimes my personal desires for the well-being of my spouse and family? Your honest answers will guide you toward a marriage that is strong, enduring, and pleasing to Allah. Marriage is a journey, and patience and sacrifice are the pillars that will carry you through it. By understanding this now, before you step into marriage, you are preparing yourself for a life of love, compassion, and spiritual growth, creating a home where faith, respect, and harmony thrive. When we think about marriage, it is easy to focus on the emotional connection, the love, and the companionship we hope to share with our spouse. While these are important, there is something even deeper and more essential in a successful and blessed marriage: faith. Before you step into marriage, it is crucial to ask yourself, is my faith strong enough to guide me, to support me, and to help me become the best spouse I can be? A strong faith is not just about performing rituals, it is about embodying the teachings of Islam in every aspect of your life and carrying them into your relationship. Without faith, a marriage may be built on temporary feelings and external comforts which can fade or be challenged by life's difficulties. With faith, a marriage becomes a partnership guided by Allah, rooted in His guidance and blessed with His protection. Ask yourself, do I have a relationship with Allah that is active, alive, and sincere? Am I someone who turns to Him in prayer, seeks His guidance, and relies on Him in moments of need? Marriage will test your patience, character, and wisdom in ways you may not anticipate. It will test your ability to forgive, to compromise, and to prioritize your spouse's needs alongside your own. A strong connection with Allah gives you the guidance and inner strength to navigate these challenges with grace. When you are grounded in faith, you can approach conflicts with calmness, remind yourself and your spouse of the importance of compassion and justice, and avoid letting anger or pride dictate your actions. A strong faith also prepares you to nurture the spiritual growth of your household. Ask yourself, am I ready to remind my spouse of Allah gently, to encourage good deeds, and to establish a home where Islamic principles are respected and practiced? In Islam, a spouse is not only a partner in this life, but also a companion in the path to Jannah. You have the responsibility to support each other in worship, in character development, and in staying steadfast in your faith. This means praying together when possible, reading Quran together, making dua for each other, and being patient and forgiving in moments of weakness. A marriage built on faith becomes a source of strength, peace, and guidance, not just for the couple but for future generations. Faith in marriage also shapes the way we interact with our spouse on a daily basis. Are you able to control your anger, to speak kindly, even in moments of disagreement, and to act with integrity and respect in all situations? The Prophet ﷺ said, "The most complete of the believers in faith is the best in character." This means that our faith directly influences how we treat others, especially our family. When we strengthen our iman, we strengthen our character, and this directly impacts our marriage. It allows us to communicate with patience, resolve conflicts respectfully, and build an environment of trust, love, and mutual respect. Before marriage, reflect deeply on your own spiritual habits. Are you consistent in your prayers? Do you seek knowledge and guidance from the Quran and Sunnah? Are you actively working to improve your character, control your desires, and avoid actions that displease Allah? Marriage magnifies both our strengths and weaknesses. If we are spiritually weak, challenges in marriage can become overwhelming. If we are spiritually strong, even small acts of patience, kindness, and understanding can strengthen the relationship immensely. A spouse with strong faith is a source of guidance, comfort, and motivation in times of difficulty. It is also important to consider your future spouse. Ask yourself, am I prepared to choose a partner whose faith aligns with mine? Someone whose intentions are sincere, whose character reflects Islamic values, and whose dedication to Allah is visible in daily life. Marriage is not only about compatibility in habits or interests, it is about compatibility in faith, values, and goals. A partner with strong iman will encourage you to grow spiritually, remind you of good when you forget, and help create a home where Allah's guidance is the foundation. Selecting a spouse based on faith and character, rather than only emotions or external appearances, increases the likelihood of a successful and lasting marriage. Spiritual readiness also includes being prepared to forgive and overlook mistakes. No one is perfect, and both spouses will have shortcomings. A person grounded in faith understands the importance of patience, humility, and forgiveness. They will strive to overlook minor faults, avoid unnecessary arguments, and focus on building love and respect rather than holding grudges. They will remember that every good deed, including patience and kindness in marriage, is rewarded by Allah. By approaching marriage with spiritual maturity, both spouses can support one another in becoming better individuals while strengthening the bond between them. Dua and reliance on Allah are critical before marriage. Ask Allah sincerely to guide you to the right spouse, to help you become the best partner you can be, and to bless your marriage with tranquility, love, and faith. Perform istikhara sincerely, seeking Allah's guidance for this important decision. Remember, a marriage chosen and guided by Allah's wisdom has the greatest chance of success, peace, and blessings in this world and the hereafter. Marriage is not only a worldly contract, it is a spiritual partnership and a sacred trust. By reflecting on your own faith, preparing to support your spouse spiritually, and seeking Allah's guidance, you are laying the foundation for a strong, blessed, and enduring marriage. Ask yourself honestly, am I ready to lead and support with faith? Am I prepared to help my spouse grow spiritually and emotionally? Am I ready to create a home where Allah's presence and guidance are central? The answers to these questions will guide you in making a decision that aligns with your faith, your values, and the blessings Allah wants to bestow upon you. By focusing on your spiritual readiness, you are not only preparing for a successful marriage, but also building a relationship that can withstand challenges, grow stronger over time, and bring both spouses closer to Allah. Faith is the pillar that supports patience, sacrifice, love, and understanding. Without it, marriage can face unnecessary struggles. With it, even the simplest acts of kindness, prayer, and reflection can transform a house into a home filled with barakah, love, and tranquility. Marriage is one of the most beautiful blessings in Islam, but it is also a trust, a responsibility, and a partnership that requires preparation, maturity, and dedication. Before taking the sacred step, it is crucial to ask yourself, am I ready to be fully responsible for my spouse's heart, their well-being, and the life we will build together? Responsibility in marriage is not something to take lightly. It encompasses emotional, financial, and practical aspects, and it is deeply intertwined with the teachings of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The most complete of the believers in faith is the best in character," which reminds us that faith and character are inseparable from responsibility. Before marriage, it is essential to examine yourself honestly and ask, am I ready to embrace this responsibility wholeheartedly? Emotional responsibility is one of the most important aspects of marriage. Marriage will test your patience, communication skills, and emotional maturity. There will be times of joy and times of difficulty. Ask yourself, can I remain calm and composed during arguments or disagreements? Can I listen with empathy and respond with understanding rather than anger or frustration? Emotional responsibility means being aware of your own emotions, controlling them, and responding to your spouse in a way that is nurturing and kind. It means being someone your spouse can rely on for comfort, support, and reassurance. When emotional responsibility is taken seriously, a home becomes a place of love, peace, and security, where both spouses feel valued and understood. It is also important to understand that emotional responsibility involves patience, forgiveness, and compromise. No one is perfect, and both spouses will have habits, behaviors, and flaws that may be challenging at times. Are you ready to accept your spouse with their imperfections? Are you prepared to forgive their mistakes and focus on their positive qualities? Emotional responsibility requires humility and selflessness. It is about prioritizing the well-being of the relationship over personal ego or pride. When both partners commit to emotional responsibility, it creates a strong bond based on trust, respect, and love. Financial responsibility is another critical pillar of a successful marriage. Marriage brings new financial obligations such as providing for your household, planning for the future, and managing daily expenses. Ask yourself, am I prepared to manage finances wisely and responsibly? Can I contribute to the household in a way that ensures stability and peace? Financial responsibility also means honesty and transparency with your spouse. Decisions about spending, saving, and planning should be made together, with mutual understanding and respect. A couple that approaches financial matters responsibly can avoid unnecessary conflicts and build a stable foundation for their family. It is also essential to recognize that financial responsibility in marriage is not limited to earning money. It includes budgeting, planning, and using resources wisely. Understanding that wealth is a trust from Allah. Being financially responsible means prioritizing needs over wants, being content with what Allah has provided, and supporting one another through challenges. Islam emphasizes moderation, fairness, and gratitude in all matters, including finances. By taking financial responsibility seriously, you are not only fulfilling a practical obligation but also demonstrating good character and faith in action. Practical responsibility is another aspect that should not be overlooked. Marriage requires teamwork in daily life. There will be responsibilities related to household management, decision-making, raising children, and maintaining family relationships. Ask yourself, am I prepared to share these responsibilities fairly and actively participate in building a home that is peaceful, organized, and harmonious? A responsible spouse does not only think about their own convenience, they contribute to the partnership in ways that make life smoother, happier, and more balanced. Responsibility is about being dependable, reliable, and proactive in making the relationship work. Spiritual responsibility is deeply connected with emotional and practical responsibility. A strong believer understands that a marriage is not just a worldly contract, it is a spiritual journey. Ask yourself, am I ready to lead and support my spouse in matters of faith? Can I encourage good deeds, remind them of Allah, and create a home where Islamic values are upheld? Spiritual responsibility includes helping each other grow closer to Allah, establishing regular prayer, reciting Quran, and making the home a place of barakah, love, and guidance. When both spouses are spiritually responsible, challenges are easier to overcome, conflicts are handled with wisdom, and love and respect grow stronger over time. Before marriage, self-reflection is key. Take the time to consider your own strengths and weaknesses. Are you ready to communicate openly and respectfully? Are you prepared to balance personal needs with the needs of your spouse? Are you willing to seek guidance from Allah through dua and istikhara when facing difficult decisions? Responsibility in marriage requires honesty, self-awareness, and humility. The more prepared you are to embrace these responsibilities, the greater the chance of building a successful, loving, and blessed marriage. Remember that every act of responsibility, patience, and selflessness in marriage is rewarded by Allah. The small gestures of kindness, support, and understanding matter greatly. By reflecting on emotional, financial, and practical responsibilities before marriage, you are laying the foundation for a home filled with love, trust, and faith. You are preparing yourself to navigate challenges with patience and wisdom, to communicate effectively, and to support your spouse in every aspect of life. Marriage is a lifelong journey, and responsibility is the cornerstone that keeps it strong and enduring. By taking responsibility seriously, you are not only fulfilling your duties as a spouse, but also earning the pleasure of Allah. Ask yourself honestly, am I ready to be emotionally mature, financially wise, and spiritually committed? Am I prepared to contribute positively to the life we will build together? These questions are not meant to intimidate you, They are meant to guide you, to help you prepare, and to ensure that when you enter marriage, you do so with clarity, sincerity, and the hope of Allah's blessings. A responsible spouse is someone who nurtures love, fosters trust, and prioritizes the well-being of their family. By reflecting on emotional, financial, and spiritual responsibility before marriage, you are laying the groundwork for a relationship that is strong, stable, and full of barakah. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a pathway to building a home that reflects the beauty, mercy, and guidance of Islam. By asking yourself these questions now, you are taking a crucial step toward a marriage that is not only happy and harmonious but also pleasing to Allah and rewarding in this life and the hereafter. As we come to the final part of our reflection before marriage, it is crucial to consider not only your responsibilities, but also your understanding of yourself and your future partner. Marriage is not just about companionship or love, it is a lifelong partnership that requires deep self-awareness, empathy, and a shared commitment to faith, values, and growth. Before stepping into this sacred bond, ask yourself, do I truly know myself, my strengths, my weaknesses, my priorities, and my goals in life? Self-awareness is the foundation of a healthy marriage. Without it, misunderstandings, unrealistic expectations, and unnecessary conflicts can arise. When you understand yourself, you are better equipped to communicate your needs, handle challenges, and create a relationship that is balanced, respectful, and nurturing. Self-awareness also includes recognizing your emotional patterns. How do you react under stress or conflict? How do you express love, care, or concern? Can you control anger, practice patience, and forgive easily? Understanding your emotional tendencies allows you to anticipate potential challenges and develop strategies to navigate them with wisdom. Marriage is a partnership in which both individuals must grow and adapt, and knowing yourself is the first step toward ensuring that your growth contributes positively to your spouse and your household. In addition to understanding yourself, it is equally important to understand your future spouse. Ask yourself, do I truly know what I am looking for in a partner? Beyond superficial qualities such as appearance, wealth, or social status, what values, faith, and character traits are essential for me? Marriage in Islam is not simply a personal decision. It is a sacred trust, and compatibility in faith, values, and goals is paramount. Your spouse should be someone who complements you, strengthens your iman, encourages good deeds, and shares your vision for a household guided by Islamic principles. Reflect deeply on what qualities you need in a partner to build a harmonious, loving, and spiritually fulfilling home. It is also important to consider whether you are ready to accept the imperfections of your partner. No one is perfect, and every individual has flaws. Are you prepared to overlook minor faults, forgive mistakes, and focus on mutual growth rather than criticism? Marriage is not about finding someone perfect, it is about finding someone whose strengths complement your weaknesses and whose weaknesses you can lovingly accept. When both spouses approach each other with patience, understanding, and empathy, the relationship becomes a source of comfort, growth, and spiritual development. Before marriage, also reflect on your readiness to communicate effectively. Communication is the lifeline of a healthy relationship. Are you able to express your needs, desires, and concerns with clarity and respect? Can you listen without judgment? Respond with empathy and resolve conflicts with wisdom and patience. Healthy communication prevents misunderstandings, reduces resentment, and strengthens the bond of love and trust between spouses. By preparing yourself to communicate openly and respectfully, you are laying the groundwork for a relationship that can endure the tests of time. Another crucial aspect of reflection is understanding the responsibilities of marriage beyond emotions and communication. Are you ready to participate actively in building a home, raising children, managing finances, and maintaining strong family relationships? Marriage is a shared journey, and each partner contributes to creating a harmonious and nurturing environment. Ask yourself whether you are willing to work together with your spouse to make decisions, solve problems, and create a life that is balanced, stable, and full of barakah. Responsibility in marriage is not only about providing or controlling, it is about supporting, sharing, and growing together. Spiritual compatibility and readiness are also key factors. Ask yourself, am I prepared to support my spouse in their faith journey? Can I create a home where prayer, Quran, and Islamic values are central? A strong spiritual foundation allows both spouses to navigate challenges with patience, wisdom, and trust in Allah. When both partners are spiritually aligned, marriage becomes a source of mercy, tranquility, and continuous growth. not only for the couple but also for the children and extended family. Consider your spiritual habits and whether you are ready to integrate them into your married life, encouraging one another to strengthen your connection with Allah. Choosing a spouse wisely also requires sincere supplication. Perform istikhara and ask Allah for guidance in making the right decision. Trust that Allah knows what is best for you and rely on Him to lead you to the partner who will bring you peace, growth, and blessing. Marriage guided by Allah's wisdom is more likely to thrive and remain fulfilling, even in the face of challenges. Remember that your choices now have long-term consequences for your life, your character, and your spiritual journey. By seeking divine guidance, you are showing humility, wisdom, and a desire to build a marriage that is pleasing to Allah. Finally, consider the long-term vision for your life and marriage. Ask yourself, am I ready to invest in this relationship for the long haul? Am I committed to personal growth, to supporting my spouse, and to building a home filled with love, respect, and faith? Marriage is not a short-term arrangement. It is a lifelong commitment that requires continuous effort, patience, and dedication. By reflecting on your own readiness and your partner's qualities, you can enter this sacred bond with clarity, purpose, and the intention of building a strong, blessed, and enduring marriage. Marriage is one of the most important journeys in a believer's life, and preparation is the key to success. By understanding yourself, choosing a spouse wisely, and seeking Allah's guidance, you are laying the foundation for a marriage that is not only fulfilling and harmonious, but also spiritually rewarding. Ask yourself honestly, am I ready to love selflessly, to forgive generously, to communicate openly, and to grow together with my spouse under the guidance of Allah? These questions are not meant to intimidate you, they are meant to prepare you, guide you, and help you make a decision that will shape your life and your faith positively. Marriage is a partnership in which two imperfect people come together to build a home filled with love, faith, and mercy. By reflecting deeply on yourself, your partner, and your shared vision for life, you are ensuring that your marriage is strong, blessed, and pleasing to Allah. Every thoughtful choice, every act of patience, every effort to understand and support your spouse is a step toward creating a relationship that is meaningful, fulfilling, and enduring. Take the time now to ask these questions honestly, seek Allah's guidance, and prepare yourself to enter marriage with clarity, sincerity, and the hope of His blessings.